Hi, my name is Helly. This is a safe space for yarn, rest, and soft things. Welcome and welcome back. In this tutorial, we are going to make a hand warmer. This is how the hand warmer looks like, as you can see. So the material that you will be needing in this tutorial depends on what type of yarn that you're using, basically the thickness. So what I'm going to use is I am going to use 3.5 mm crochet hook, and I'm going to use this type of yarn. If this were a ply, I think it's about 3 ply of yarn. So it's not like too thick, but it's also not too thin. And for the white glove, the yarn is kind of thin. It's basically like this thin. I really hope you can see it. And for the white yarn, it is a mohair yarn. And this one is, I'm not so sure, but this is the yarn that I'm going to be using. So we're going to start with the ribbing, basically this part of the glove. So for round 1, we're going to start with a slip knot. To do a slip knot, you're going to make a loop like this. So the end of your yarn is going to be on your left and your working yarn is going to be on your right. And then you're going to just put it on top of your finger like this, and then hold the yarn like this, and then you're just going to turn your finger to the front like this. So at the bottom of your finger, we have an X shape right here. And then you're just going to release the loop from your finger while still keeping the shape. Then take your working yarn and put it on top of the loop. And then from the back, you're just going to pull your working yarn, which is basically at the center of the loop. Pull through. So that is how you're going to do a slip knot. Now take your crochet hook and insert your hook into the loop, and then just tighten it up. So the working yarn is going to be at the front, and then the end is going to be at the back. Now just make a gun-shaped hand, and then slowly hold onto the yarn like this. And you will have to also hold the end of your yarn with your middle and thumb like this, so that you have control over the yarn. So this is how I usually hold my yarn. So for the ribbing, you're just going to chain how long you want the chain to be. Basically, the chain is going to determine how long the ribbing is from here until here. So for mine, it is basically like this long on my wrist. So for mine, I am going to do 19 chains. So feel free to adjust the chain whether you want it longer or whether you want it shorter. Now I'm going to chain 19. So to chain, you're just going to yarn over your yarn and pull through this loop. So this is going to be your first chain. Then just continue until you have the desired length. So I have 3 chains, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19. So you will have to make sure that the chains is in the same size. Basically, the chains should be the same size as your hook. So this is where the tension of your yarn comes in. You will always have to make sure that the yarn is the same size as your hook like this. So you don't have to pull like too tight, just pull it gently like this and make sure that it can slide around. So once you like the length for your ribbing, you're going to skip the first chain, which is the first V at the front right here. This is your loop, and this is the first V, and then this is the second V. So this is your second chain. So you're going to insert your hook into the second chain, and we're going to insert 1 single crochet. So to make a single crochet, insert your hook into the second chain only through the top part, and then just yarn over and pull through this first loop right here. And then you have 2 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, 1 and 2. So this is going to be your first single crochet. So since I have 19 chains minus 1, because we skipped the first stitch, The first stitch is basically a turning chain, so we are not going to count it as our stitch. So 19 minus 1 equals to 18. So I will have to do 18 single crochets until here. Basically, you're going to insert 1 single crochet into each of these stitches or each of the chain. So into this second stitch right here, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. And then in the third stitch, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. So right now I have 1, 2, and 3 single crochets. So I'm just going to continue inserting 1 single crochet into each stitch, and this is my last stitch right here. So I'm going to make my last single crochet. Now once you are done with round 1, this is how it looks. So now we're going to move on to round 2. So now from round 2 until the end of your round, it is going to be the same step. For this part, it is going to be up to you on how big you want the ribbon to be and see if it fits on your wrist. So for this, the total number of rounds must be a multiply of 4. So as of for mine, I will have to do until round 36, which is basically a multiply of 4. Now you're going to chain 1, so just yarn over and pull through. So we're not going to count this as stitch. Basically, this is our turning chain just to make it easier for you to insert your hook into the first stitch. Now just go ahead and turn your work. Now this is the chain 1, and then this is your first stitch. So we're going to insert 1 single crochet into each stitches, but we're going to insert it only through the back loop. So to insert your hook through the back loop, you're just going to insert your hook into the middle of the V, like this. And then just yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2. Now this is going to be your first single crochet. And then in the second stitch, insert your hook into the middle of the V, yarn over and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So that is your second single crochet. Now you're just going to continue this step until you reach the end right here. And then this is my fourth stitch. So just continue this step. Now this is going to be my last single crochet, which is basically the last V at the end. So just insert your hook and make your last single crochet. And this is how the second row looks like. So now we're going to continue this step until the length fits on your wrist. Basically, this part is going to wrap around your wrist comfortably. So I'm going to see you once you're done. And then make sure that the last round that you did is a multiply of 4. So once you are done, this is how it looks. And as you can see, it can be wrapped around my wrist. So now I'm going to show you how to count the rows. You will have to make sure your rows is in a multiply of 4. Go ahead and make sure that your tail is on your left like mine. Like this. So the tail is going to be on your left. Now this is going to be your first row. Then above it, this is going to be our second row. You can see that we kind of have like a ridge or a line for the second row. And then right here, where we have kind of like a dent, this is going to be our third row. So basically, you're just going to alternate between a dent and a ridge to count it. So I'm going to count mine from the start so that you have an example on how to count yours. So this is going to be my first row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 and 36. You're going to count the top part as your last row, as it's basically the same as the ridge or the line. First, go ahead and just insert your hook into your loop, and you're going to chain 1. Then go ahead and turn your work, and then bring this side to the front like this, and meet both sides like this. And you will have to make sure that all of these stitches are aligned with each other. So this part is going to be my first stitch for this side, and this side is going to be my first stitch right here. So first, go ahead and insert your hook into the first stitch just through the center, and then go through this side right here. This is going to be your first stitch. Just insert your hook like this. Then go ahead and make a slip stitch. So to make a slip stitch, you're going to yarn over and pull through these 2 loops. Just 1 and 2. And then pull through this 1 loop right here. Like this. The stitches for the other side is basically wherever you find space. As you can see, we kind of have like a space right here, 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 all the way down. That is basically your stitches. So you will have to make sure that all of the stitches are aligned with each other so that the 2 sides are straight after you join it. So this is my second slip stitch. Basically, you're just going to insert a slip stitch into each of these spaces or stitches. So insert your hook only through the center, and then go through the next stitch of the other side. This is the space that I have right here, and just make a slip stitch. So now this is going to be my last stitch that I'm going to join. Now we're going to continue with the hand part, basically this part right here. So first, you're going to chain 1. So just chain 1. So now we're going to insert 1 single crochet into each of the spaces or each of the row, just like how we counted. So basically, since I have a total of 36 rows, I will have to insert 36 single crochets. So make sure that the total of single crochets that you're going to insert is the same as the number of rows. So to insert the single crochet, you're just going to follow along this line, like right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, right here, 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 and here. So I'm going to insert my first single crochet right here. I'm going to insert my hook, and I am going to carry this end as I work over my single crochet, just so that I don't have to weave it in. So to carry the end, all you need to do is just put the end on top of your crochet hook while crocheting. So once again, just insert your hook and make 1 single crochet. Now go ahead and take your stitch marker and mark the first single crochet like this. And then the next single crochet is going to be in the second row right here. So just insert your hook and make 1 single crochet. So this is going to be my second single crochet, and then my third single crochet is going to be right here like this. And then the fourth one, so 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So just continue until you reach the end of your round right here. So I'm going to do my last 2 stitches. So 35 and 36. So to finish off this round, go ahead and remove your stitch marker. And we're going to insert a slip stitch into the first stitch. So this is the first stitch right here, basically where the stitch marker was. So just insert your hook into the first stitch and yarn over and pull up a loop and just pull through. And what I usually do is I'm going to like pull my loop like this and pull the loop to tighten up the slip stitch just so that it's not as visible. Now moving on to round 38. Now we're going to chain 2, 1, and 2. Now we're going to insert all of the stitches into the same stitch, basically the first stitch right here where we made a slip stitch. First, we're going to insert 1 double crochet. So to make a double crochet, just yarn over and insert your hook into the first stitch. Then yarn over and pull up a loop. So you have 1, 2, and 3 loops on your hook. Then yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. So that is how you're going to do a double crochet. So now go ahead and take your stitch marker and mark the double crochet. Now we're going to chain 1, and in the same stitch we're going to insert 2 double crochet. So yarn over and insert your hook into the same stitch and pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. Then just repeat the step. Now we have all of the stitches. Now we're going to skip 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And then we're going to insert our hook into the 4th stitch right here. So we're going to insert all of the stitches above into the same stitch, basically the 4th stitch. So I'm going to make my 2 double crochet first. So insert your hook into the 4th stitch and make the double crochet. And make sure that this loop right here and this loop is tight enough. Basically, it is going to be the same size as your crochet hook. So just make sure that your tension is okay. Just pull, just with your left hand, just pull the yarn like this to make sure all of the loops is the same size as your hook. Then just yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. And I'm going to insert 1 more double crochet into the same stitch like this, and then we're going to chain 1 and again insert 2 double crochet into the same stitch. So 1 double crochet and again 1 more double crochet into the same stitch, and it's going to look like this. Now this is what you're going to repeat till you are left with 3 stitches at the end right here. 1, 2, and 3 stitches. Now I'm going to do my last scallop. So 1, 2, 3, and 4 right here. I'm going to make my 2 double crochet first. 1 and 2. Chain 1 and insert 2 double crochets into the same stitch. Now to finish off this round, we're going to insert a slip stitch at where the stitch marker is. So just go ahead and remove your stitch marker and insert your hook into this stitch and make a slip stitch like this. So now from this round until round 44, it is going to be the same step. So round 39 until round 44 is going to be this part of the glove. Let's say you're doing it until around 44. However, your hands is much longer than mine, so basically it doesn't reach this part of your thumb. Then you can always just add more rounds because it is again the same step as what I'm going to show you. So first, you're going to make a slip stitch into this space right here. Basically, this is the chain 1, and then below it we have a space or a gap. So you're going to insert your hook into the gap and make a slip stitch. Then you're going to chain 2. So 1 and 2, and then go ahead and insert 1 double crochet into the seam stitch, or basically the gap right here. So just insert your hook into the gap and make 1 double crochet, and then chain 1 and make 2 double crochet again into the gap. 1 and 2. And also don't forget to mark the first double crochet right here if you need it. So this is just going to help you know where you're going to make a slip stitch, but if you don't need it, then feel free to just remove the stitch marker and go on with the rounds. Then we're going to make 2 double crochet first into the gap. So basically we're only going to work in the gaps, basically the chain 1 gaps. We're just going to ignore all of the other stitches. So I'm going to make 2 double crochet into the gap right here, in between of the 4 double crochets. The chain 1 right here, and then we have a gap. So just insert your hook into the gap and go ahead and make 2 double crochet. 1 and 2, then chain 1 and insert 2 double crochet again into the same stitch or same gap. 1 and 2. So this is the step that you're going to repeat until your last gap right here. So once you are done, you're just going to insert a slip stitch into the first double crochet. So just go ahead and remove your stitch marker and insert your hook into the first stitch and make a slip stitch like this. So now this is going to be the step that you're going to repeat until the glove reach this part of your hands. So I'm going to see you once you're done. And basically for mine, I am going to do it until round 44, just in case you're wondering. So I have done until round 44 and this is what it looks like. So now on round 45, we're going to create a thumb hole just like this. So to create the thumb hole, first we're going to make a slip stitch into the chain 1 space, basically right here. Then we're just going to make the first scallop basically just like this. So just chain 2 and insert 1 double crochet into the space or gap. And I'm just going to mark the first double crochet. And then chain 1 and insert 2 double crochets into the same gap. 1 and 2. So we're going to skip 1 gap right here and then just insert your hook into the next gap right here. So we're going to yarn over and then we're going to insert 1 double crochet into this gap right here. So just insert your hook into the gap and make sure that this part and then this gap is close to each other like this. And then just yarn over and pull up a loop, and as you can see, it's really like close to each other. And just continue with 1 double crochet and then just make 1 double crochet again into the same gap, chain 1 and insert 2 double crochets into the same gap, 1 and 2. This is how it looks, and this is going to be your thumb hole. So if you feel like the thumb hole is too small for your thumb, you can always skip 2 gap, which is this, and then just insert your hook into the next gap right here and make the same pattern, which is 2 double crochets, chain 1 and then 2 double crochets all in the same stitch. Now we're just going to repeat the same pattern until we reach the last gap right here. Basically, this is going to be the same step as before. So I'm going to insert my hook into the gap and make 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, and then chain 1 and insert 2 double crochets again into the same gap. 1 and 2. So go ahead and repeat this step until the last gap right here. So once you are done, we're just going to make a slip stitch into the first double crochet. So just insert your hook and make your slip stitch like this. So now basically for round 46 and round 48, it is going to be the same step as before, just that the number of scallops have reduced, but you're just going to insert it into each of the gap, and this is the thumb hole right here. So I'm going to show you how to do it. So first, go ahead and insert your hook into the gap and make a slip stitch, and then just chain 2 and insert 1 double crochet into the gap, and then chain 1 and then insert 2 double crochets again into the gap. Oh wait, I forgot to mark the first double crochet. Let me just mark it like this, and I'm going to insert 1 more double crochet, and then this is the thumb hole right here, and then this is going to be your next gap. Basically, again, it is going to be the same step as before, which is inserting 2 double crochet, chain 1 and then 2 double crochet into the gap, just that the number of scallop that we have to do have lessened by 1 since we skip 1 gap in the last round. Now just continue making the pattern. So 2 double crochets, chain 1 and 2 double crochets again into the same gap, 1 and 2. Again, in the next gap right here, insert your hook and make 2 double crochets, 1 and 2, and then chain 1, and then in the same gap insert 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. So now go ahead and repeat the step until your last gap right here. Now once you are done, we're just going to make a slip stitch into the first stitch right here, like this. Now go ahead and repeat the same step until you reach round 48, or basically this part is going to reach about this much on your hands. Now this is my last round for my glove, so I'm just going to make a slip stitch into the first stitch, and then go ahead and chain 1 to fasten off. Then take your scissors and cut your yarn about this much, and then pull through and pull the end to tighten up the chain 1 so that it won't unravel. Now I'm just going to take my darning needle and go ahead and just thread in your yarn. And then what you're going to do is you're going to insert your needle from the front like this and pull through. And then just turn your work like this so that you can see the inside of your glove. So to weave it in, you're just going to bring the yarn into this part of these stitches. So make sure to only insert your needle and yarn through the back stitch. Your needle should not show at the front when inserting it into the back stitches. Then I'm just going to insert my needle through the back stitches like this, and as you can see, my needle is not showing at the front. And now just pull through, and then you're going to skip this part of this stitch and then go through the back stitches again like this and pull through. Now take your scissors and cut your yarn. So now you are done with the first glove. So now go ahead and repeat all of these steps to make the other glove. And this is how the gloves looks like. And this is my white glove, which is made out of much thinner yarn, and this is a little bit thicker. So I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you again. Bye!